in Jackson, Mississippi as Assistant Superintendent of Middle Schools. And good evening. And did some great work, and I love, of course, being back in Jacktown. I am a native Memphian. I'm from Memphis. But it was an awesome opportunity provided for me to be there for 5 years, and so I really enjoyed it. So at Whitney, this is my 4th year there. This is my 30th year in the district. Well, I'm my 30th year in education. I don't know how many years I have here. I was a principal in Fayette County. I can't remember. I was assistant superintendent in Jackson, Mississippi. So I know I started in 1994. That's 30, right? I'm just not old enough to retire, but I have 9 years prior to in healthcare administration. And so at Whitney, we strive really hard to make things work for our children in 38127. This is my 4th year there again, and this year we were so fortunate to come off the state.
I'm so sorry.
Come on.
Everybody.
We were fortunate enough to come off of the state's priority list, where they had been on for 9 years. And not only did we exit the state priorities list, but this year we are a reward destination school. So I'm really happy for my babies because they work really hard and for the teachers that I'm doing every day. And so you think I don't know about conflict resolution. Woo! With my K-5 babies and my pre-K babies all together, I have 374 children in school and 49 direct reports and about 14 that are not direct, indirect, direct. Right? So we're just going to talk a little bit about conflict resolution, because when we hear it, we automatically think of the workplace, right? But not so true, because it happens in our families. Who has siblings? Who has families? So right, it happens in your families. It does happen in the workplace. It happens with friends. We talked about that earlier before you all even came in. And you can just be anywhere. Unfortunately, it happens at church. It happens in group circles, movie circles, book clubs. Conflict resolution is everywhere. And so we're going to move into it. So I don't want you to think all the way back, but I want you to think about some conflict that you've had to deal with in your life. It could have been today. It could have been last week. It could have been last month, last year, 5 years ago. Because there's some conflict that even though we think we've moved past it, it stays with us, right? And it really shapes the way we handle people moving forward. So I'm going to have to go back and forth just a little bit. And I can't do anything without my glasses. All right. So what is conflict resolution? I asked 3 people to read these bullets for us.
The informal or formal process that 2 or more parties use to find a peaceful solution to their dispute.
Someone else?
The process that 2 or more parties use to find a cordial solution to a problem.
And the last person.
The process of ending a dispute and reaching an agreement that satisfies all parties involved.
Yes, ma'am. So if you look at all of these, there is a word in there. So I'm going to now ask 3 people to give me a word that resonates with you from each bullet. It doesn't have to be the first one. You can, peaceful. It's a great word. Cordial. Dispute. And disputes don't always have to be arguments, right?
Right.
Can we not have conflict on paper?
Yes.
Text.
Yes.
And emails. It's the unspoken word, right? And it leaves so much to the mind for you to think. He said, what? I know she didn't. Because it's what's left to our interpretation, right?
And she put it in writing.
And I heard that today from one of my employees. I can't believe she put this in writing. And I said, believe it. All right. Here's another definition and an example. I'm going to let you read this for about 30, 40 seconds. I want you to internalize it. And I want you to see if you can attach this to something. twice to get a clear understanding, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where it falls apart. With actions.
Pardon me?
That's where it falls apart. With actions.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm gonna touch that. So, Mr. Owens, read definition for me, because you were trying to jump in, but you have too many ladies in here.
Well, yeah. Conflict resolution definition. Conflict resolution is the process of addressing and resolving disputes or disagreements between individuals or groups. It involves understanding, communication, and negotiation to find solutions that are acceptable to all parties involved. The goal is to reach an outcome that minimizes hostility and promotes harmony and understanding.
So you should have a next card in front of you. I'd like for you to write one of these words. That means the most. Understanding, communication, negotiation. It can mean the most because that's where you struggle. It can mean the most because that's where you land. It can mean the most because I just don't want to.
I just don't want to.
Say one more.
And I said understanding, communication, and negotiation. What word means the most to you there? And then in the example,
Thank
Angela said, active listening. Active listening. So when you hear the word active, you automatically say, they want me to jump in anytime I'm ready. But that is not what an active listener is. An active listener, you'll find out as we go on, is where you're giving 100%. And I mean, you are, in the words of my late grandfather, standing on tiptoe anticipation. Because you want to jump in there and defend yourself, right? But as an active listener, that's all you do. All you do is listen. Do you like everything that's being said? Do you agree with everything that's being said? But the only way you can come to a resolution is listen. So unfortunately, that's our biggest fault. We don't listen. We hear, and somebody say, are you listening? And what do we say? I hear you. But are you listening? Are you listening? Because when you listen, it provokes everything inside of you. All kinds of emotions when you are in active listening. And that's a conflict resolution strategy that's hard. It is hard. I'm not going to tell you it's not. And then you might do really well one time. And the next time, you don't pass. But then you have to regroup, start all the way back over. Because what does this say? One party actively listens, and then the other party does what? You reflect back when that person finished. You allow me to talk. And guess what? When it's my turn, I get to say whatever I want to say. And you're going to have to grit your teeth, hold on to your chair, whatever we all do, count to 25. But just be calm, be patient. Because your time is coming, and they got to hear what you have to say too, right? Yes. So now, we are going to play a game. But you have to be an active listener. Let me see if you can do that. This game is called the yes, but, yes, and. So when I'm answering you, yes, but, da, 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 da. Yes, and, da, 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 da. So the first part of this game, what we're going to do, we're going to solve a problem. And we're going to collaborate together. What we're going to do is one person is going to present an idea, and the second person is going to respond with yes, but. An example. This is funny because I have to talk about my dad's siblings. They all think they cook like, you know, Betty Crocker. Who is that? So, in a recent gathering, somebody said, Jean makes the best potato salad. And my little Mr. Uncle said, yeah, but y'all ain't had so-and-so. And that did what? Started a fire. So the first person's gonna respond to the comments with yes, but. And then you'll have more interaction with each other. And the second person will follow suit with their comments. We're gonna do that for 2 minutes, and then we're going to stop and do the yes and. And so we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people. Now we can have 4 groups of 2, 1 group of 3. I'm not gonna tell you how to do it. You're gonna work it out among yourselves. I'll give you 30 seconds to get to your groups. And then you'll have 2 minutes to bring up an idea. Sure. And the person is going to say, yes, but so. So, I guess what you all gonna do, these two, those 3, those 2, you 2. All right. You have 2 minutes.
So one person has to come up with like a problem, and then the other person responds yes, but.
You can bring up any topic you
So how
want
she
to.
used the example
But
with
remember,
cooking.
the person's gonna answer yes, but.
Then somebody
Your
else
time
says
starts
yes,
now.
but so and so can cook better. So we'll just do a scenario.
You don't have time without me being nosy.
No, only child.
That's nasty. Heard of it.
I know, I'm like, it's not like I should have. I was like, that's the first thing I thought of. I looked at this, okay.
That is very every song.
Yeah, it's just fake.
One of us is your sibling, one of us is your mother. And
Your time is up. And now we're going to switch to the second part of the activity. And now this time, you're going to go back and forth like an argument. She said, what? This time, you're going to say, yes, and. But you're going to go back and forth with each other. The first speaker presents the idea, and the second person responds with yes, and provides information of why the idea is great. Instead of challenging the idea this time, you will focus on providing additional information, and eventually you'll realize they're responding with yes and might be better, might not. Your time starts now.
so we're doing usually ourselves, or we doing like examples, like what we were.
You can talk, no, so you come up with the same thing or something different. But this time you said yes, and.
However, he is a nice person to jump in that space. She got you started. Yes, and for something to do with yourself. I see you tired.
Could be integrated.
She might be looking for that. They gave her a little purpose for that. All we know. I got
Yes, but you have to come back early. Yes, but you are a girl.
like she knows right now.
This is a good one. You are but and you like this. This is a good one.
Mother split has to come out. And ain't gonna make no and I guess it is some person, I guess that preference what they do
Four, three, two, and one. All right. I cannot wait to hear what you have to say. We're going to start with our yes, but. And I'd like for one duo or trio to come to the front. We're ready. We're ready. Okay, that means it was good. That means it was
I
good.
like our yes
And you decide which one you're going to do.
We're gonna do the yes, but.
Okay, great. We're
So,
listening.
I was saying that the best vacation was in Cancun.
Mm.
And I said, yeah, but I think Jamaica was better.
And you have to say something behind that.
Yeah, keep going. Tell my girl, you said you're on my butt.
Yeah, well, you said yeah, but something.
Oh, I was telling her that I feel like Jamaica was better. What did I say? I'm talking about the food.
The jerk chicken.
The jerk chicken was there opposed to the Mexican food. And see, I'm not a Mexican person, so I had better choices in Jamaica.
To you,
To me.
in your opinion.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only thing that matters.
Right. But you have to remember that she's saying yeah, but she's trying to convince you. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And they had the better weather. Yes, sir.
Cancun got good weather too.
Too hot.
Nice and warm, beautiful ocean.
We got oceans too.
You should say, and your answer should be yes, but we have oceans too.
But we got oceans too. Our oceans better. Pretty.
Okay.
Yes, but
They blew in Cancun too.
That was how it was the same. See, there you go.
yes.
I made you double think.
Thank you, ladies. Now, can we have another couple
Come on.
with yes and? Oh, you want? Come on, you want to do yes but? Cause I heard you all. All right, come on. Sounds good.
Okay, so my argument was 1 + 1 does not equal 2.
And I said, yes, it does. And she says that 1 + 1 = 4. Yes, but if you take parts and break it down,
Yes, but whatever it is, do you have that 1 + 1 = 2?
I said, but if you take this one and you make it stand alone, that's 2.
Yes, but how do you not know that the government is not taking the plus sign and making those 2 extra
Keep going. Keep going.
Yes, but they do when they break that plus down, get too extra.
Yes, but that two could be imaginary and not be there for real. And then that two by itself, if you have the 1 plus 1, 2 equation, could be the 4.
And our yes and? No one? Y'all were talking some heavy stuff over here.
That was our yes, but our yes and was fun.
Okay.
Our yes and.
Okay.
So, Gerald, you want to start?
Well, we started off because we were talking about the iPhone. So I was like, well, I'm an Android user, and I think Androids are better than iPhones.
And I said, yes, some people think that, and people like the iPhone because they can also connect it to their other devices, like their laptop, if they're an iMac user or a MacBook user.
And I was like, yes, and that is great, but it may not be important to everybody to connect their phone to their iPad.
And I said, yes, it might not be important. And people are also looking for the convenience and the productivity that can come from having the iPhone MacBook connection, because they can switch from device to device and still do whatever they were doing, and the information will be located.
And I was like, yes, and that is great. But the problem with the yes and is you always want to put in a but because you want to, I guess, argue your point. So that's where the yes and kind of gets a little tricky, because you can only go so far with the yes and before you're like, wait a minute. No. I'm with Android. iPhones, I don't like. So that's where, like I said, we went back and forth a little bit more, but for me it got difficult because I always want to throw in a but, because when I said yes and, it seemed like in a way I kind of had to agree with what she was saying instead of me basically expressing my opinion.
Let's give him a hand. All right. Very good. And so it worked just the way. So remember, when you kept saying yes, but, I think, what did it do? Kept that argument going, didn't it? But when you said yes and, it softened down. You all were able to agree on some things, right? And it wasn't as bad as you really thought it was going to be. So now we're going to think about it and we're going to share. You have an index card in front of you, and I want you to share some words that you used when you had a conflict. Put it on your index card. And then I want you to share, did I think first or did I act first? Then I want you to share, what were my actions? How did I move? If you're a self-reflector, you saw it. Why did I do that? And tell the truth about what you did it. Tell the truth about why you did it. I'm going to give you 2 minutes, but Gerald is really writing already. I won't bother you while you write. I'm looking though. She's my LS. Yes, but most importantly, she's my bond sister.
Sorry.
All right, we're not sharing yet. We're going to share. I'd like to hear some of the words that you used when you were in a conflict. In the heat of the moment, when you were not rationalizing, when you were not actively listening, when you were not thinking. What did you do first? Why did you make that move? Why did you do it? Oh, is that a paragraph? Most times we don't. Now, most times we did think first, but it was at the house.
Yeah.
We thought about what we were gonna do, and it wasn't time, right? Sometimes it wasn't so kind. When you finish, thumbs up. On this, we'll take one person to share. What's your name?
Maya.
Maya, come up, Sora. You can share either. You can make a paragraph, talk about all. It's up to you.
Okay.
Okay?
What words did I use when I had a conflict? You don't care about me, stop talking to me. As far as did I think first or act first? I act first.
What made you act first?
Most times, I think that's I don't know.
Self-defense mechanism.
Yeah, that's true. You act before you think.
Yes.
What were my actions? How did I move? I most likely cut the person off. I'm quick to cut a person off. Why did I do that? Because I was upset.
And why do you cut them off?
Personally, they probably didn't take my feelings into consideration, or
And you don't want to be hurt again.
true. That's true.
All right, Maya, come over. You may choose a soup mug, a cup, a lunch bag, or a meat bag.
Thank you.
All right, so let's look at the conflict resolution strategies. And we're going to talk about these strategies, right? These skills are really important to any conflict resolution. Remember, we said that it's not only in the workplace, it's in your family, it's in your clubs, it's in our sororities, right? It's in the Dallas football group who goes to watch the game, right? It's in churches, it's everywhere. Conflict resolution is everywhere. So how do we handle it? Are we assertive negatively? Do we meditate? Do we have empathy?
Sometimes.
We interview, and we should be active listeners, but most time we're just interviewing. And who fights for the accountability, or who takes the accountability? And who creates problem-solving situation? I want you to think about that. Think about what you think those words mean as they relate to conflict resolution, right? And then I'm going to put those meanings on the board, and we're going to talk about it. Because we want to be equitable, we want to be fair, we want to make sure that we come up with a mutual agreement that we can always solve. Can you always solve? No, but you're going to do your best to try. And it's really with the words that you use. And how assertive you are, if your assertiveness is aggressive, or if it's calm, if you are an active listener, or if you're an interviewer. And that means that you don't give the other person a chance to talk. So let's look at this. Conflict resolution skills are abilities that enable you to mediate disputes, and achieve consensus. That's really what conflict resolution is about. You really are trying everything you have to solve this problem. Sometimes solving the problem does mean to separate, but the separation is not always meant to be forever. And sometimes we don't think like that. Sometimes we think, I don't care what you said, I know what you did, and in my head, I know why you did it, right? And so I'm not going to give you an opportunity to fix it. But look at what it says about creative problem solving. Somebody read that for me.
often helps us look at things in a new light and allows us to see things from another perspective.
Because there's always another side. Now, you might not accept it, but there is always another side. And you have to remember that everybody in this room is different. My mom had a set of twins, girls. They were different as daylight and darkness. One was always chipper, always laughing, and the other was serious about everything. Everything. You can be identical twins, you can be fraternal twins, you can be sisters, like 1 minute apart. It just really doesn't matter. Everybody have their own way of thinking. And they have reasons why they think that way. And we think we know people, but we don't always know what happened to make them feel that way. So let's think about assertiveness and empathy. Somebody read that.
These are two key components of emotional intelligence, and they are essential for effective conflict resolution.
So assertiveness means expressing your needs. Who has difficulty with telling people what you need from them? If you don't tell them what you need from them, say it again. You're not gonna get it. And what if that's all they know? Right? So you have to express your needs and your opinions. Opinions are just what they are. It's what you thought about it, how you felt about it. Does it make it right? No, not always. And you have to express your feelings in a clear way. Hollering and screaming does not get your point over. A lot of times it shuts people down. They stop listening. You hollering and screaming at me, it's, oh, I really don't want to do it anymore. So I always say be calm, be respectful, and it's okay to be confident, but not cocky. It's okay to be confident, but not cocky. Why you say that? She was like, I'm listening. It's okay.
Cause I'm thinking
Slow
about my
down.
husband,
Okay.
and we had an argument today,
Oh.
and I'm trying to process what you're saying to me.
Mm-hmm.
But when somebody is cocky, I cannot take it. It's a trigger. And so all that calmness that I was prepping for when I got on the phone, it went out the window the moment I heard it. Now I'm firecracker, shooting out. And so I'm trying to get these skills down pat and understand so I can remain calm. But when you talking smack to me, Dr. Hunter, I cannot sit there.
So you don't have to be passive. Now you don't have to be passive. You don't have to purr like a lamb. You can be assertive and confident, saying, I heard you, now I need you to listen to me. And if they start interrupting again, you stop, you let them say what they want to say. Now I need you to listen to me. But guess what? If they don't listen to you in that venue,
I just hang up the phone.
no, I'm gonna need you. See, it's not, so let me help you.
Okay,
So you know, it's really not effective anymore. We don't have those black phones.
Okay.
So, you know, it used to be when I could say, you know, you heard that.
That's right.
But that ain't effective, girl. We been pushing the button. And they don't even hear it. You know what I'm saying? So the effectiveness is when you, I heard what you said. I think we need a little bit more time before we talk about it. And so then guess what I need you to do? I need you to take all of your thoughts, all of your needs, put all of your expressions on in a letter. And then as you walk out the door in the morning, have it in his seat in the car. He's gonna be without you. He's gonna have some time to meditate. He's gonna have some time to empathize with you. Because now I'm hearing her, and I don't like the way I made my wife feel. Because in front of you, he's gotta try to be the man. In front of you. He really doesn't want to make you feel that way. Because what you gonna, I already know, I'm looking at you. What you gonna put on that paper? He because he loves you. He does not want to hear that. Now, if he will say all of this, I can't say he's going to say all of it, but he's going to do some small acts of responding positively that might and might not be enough for you.
Okay, if it's not enough.
Then you're going to be patient, and you're going to write another letter and say,
Another?
I appreciate, I saw your attempts, and I appreciate your attempts. However, I said I needed this. So now you have gone from black ink, to like blue and red.
Ooh.
Because you want his attention. You're not saying ugly words. You just change the color so he can see what you're saying.
Change the tone.
You change your tone without hollering and screaming. You didn't curse. You didn't slam a door. But you have not gotten his attention because that hasn't changed. He's accustomed to that. But he is accustomed to that. He's accustomed to it. He's not going to react differently because he's accustomed to that. But when you get quiet on him, he don't know if he need to go to bed, sit up in the chair, go buy his own dinner, don't eat nothing you cook. Don't know what to do. And you still going to be assertive in your words, but with kindness. I love you, but this has to be whatever you want to say it is. And you got to give it time.
How much time?
I can't tell you that.
I need to sit on your couch.
Oh, well, okay, I have a conference table and chairs in my office.
Look, I don't give you a couch.
But I promise you it can work. But you have to change what you're doing if you want him to listen to you the way you want him to listen to you. And it doesn't just have to be in a marriage. It can be friendship. It can be with siblings, with other family members, with other friends, in relationships at work. Because you're with those people at work way more than you are with the people in your family. Right?
I got one more.
Yes, ma'am. What's your name?
Davita.
Yes, ma'am, Miss Davita.
Does this apply to a narcissist?
It does.
Because I tried a lot of what you said. I haven't written a letter yet. Because when I'm mad, I can kind of,
My father is a narcissist. He's the best at it. It's when you shock him, and you kindness, and out the blue. Let's have a conversation. He didn't know whether to come to the table, to want to talk in the car, because I don't ask for conversation, because I need you to respect it. I'm not 8, I'm 58. I'm going to respect you because you're my father. But you have to respect me. You have to. It doesn't matter who it is, they have to respect you. And you govern how they respect you. And as long as you curse and get out and holler, scream and close the doors, they're going to give you the same game you didn't get it. Just move in silence. Just move in silence. Good morning, how you doing? You're going to be like, I didn't say tomorrow. When you get to that place, you're going to get there. Because empathy forges a stronger connection. Once you write him that letter, he's going to empathize with how you feel. And he doesn't want to make you feel that way. So it's going to increase his understanding. And he's going to have to learn how to trust you in another way. Because you put it all on paper. Okay? And so the next thing is accountability. He's not taking accountability for the things he said or did. You just take ownership for yours. I admit that I did A, B, C, D. And you don't have to go back and say, but you did D through Z. You just say, I admit that I did A, B, C. Anybody tell me what time it is?
6:43.
Okay.
We talked in certain videos, talk about accountability, not using what you did. You did. Better saying, when this happened, I felt this way. Stop those. You stayed. You did this. You did this.
And that goes to back what we did earlier. Yes, but, or yes, and. It can change the trajectory of your conversation. Yes, and I understand how you feel. However, blah, 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 blah. Yes, and I agree with you on that. So this is what I need from you. Tell me what you need from me. I have to do that with 5 or 6-year-olds. Me want to go to sleep. Come on, I bought 6 brand new bean bags. Because I have to realize that every child don't go to bed at night like I do. Ask, don't be afraid to ask people what you need from me, but don't be afraid to say what you need from them. Somebody's hands up.
Okay. I would just like to share an experience that
Yes,
I had.
ma'am.
Okay. In working, there was a supervisor. The 2 of us were both supervisors. She was the fiscal person, and I was the person that was over the staff. And so, being that she was the fiscal person, we were turning in some expense reports. Okay, and so I had a worker who had turned in an expense report that needed to be paid, and so the fiscal person didn't want to pay it. She didn't want to pay it, and I told her, I said, well, she needs to be paid. She needs to be paid. And so the 2 of us got into this shouting match. And so during the course of the time, she yelled at me and said, "Don't you understand?"
Oh, wow.
Yes, she did. My response was, "No, I don't understand." And
Because if she yelled at you, you thought she was hard of hearing, and you wanted to make sure she heard you.
and guess what happened? She brought it all the way down.
There you go.
Had no more problems after that. Because my understanding is, you are a supervisor, I'm a supervisor.
Right.
I expect you to treat me with respect. I'm going to treat you with respect. After we had that little shouting match, and I said what I had no more trouble.
And sometimes what she did was just met her where she was, right? She didn't say anything ugly. She just met her where she was. That's all she did. So now you see here it says, what is your conflict style? Don't be scared, people. This is going to be your survey for yourself. Take out your cell phones. Voila. You are now going to take this conflict style survey, and it is 2 minutes long. I want you to feel comfortable. I'm going to sit back and get out of your space because I want you to honestly answer this for yourself. Once you answer this survey, it's going to give you a synopsis of how you resolve conflict. I'm going to give you about 3 more minutes because it's on your phone, and sometimes our phone moves a little slower because we're not in our home, right? We're in our place where we normally would use Wi-Fi. Just, you just want to focus toward the QR code, and then you're going to click on the words that you see at the bottom. You see the words pop up? And then click on the words, and it's going to take you to the survey. You see the survey?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. I'm going to give you 3 minutes. And if you need more time, just tell me. You may start.
Wow.
don't want you to